Terrific crew. The Wolfpack win it 4 straight here at home. Let's get you to Clemson and Georgia Tech.
Rodney Howard wins the tap. You haven't missed a thing here at Little John Coliseum with the number 24 Tigers dressed in regalia tonight. Out of the corner, Tyson, a 3-ball to start the night.
Wes, and Georgia Tech starts in that matchup zone that they play so well, and in that zone they defend the 3 very effectively, but great ball movement by the Tigers gets a wide open one.
You see, this is Jalen Moore downstairs. Howard misses the turnaround jump hook. Ian Shefflin the rebound. Dylan Hunter gets his first career start tonight for Brownell's Tigers. Here is Galloway launching and hitting. 6-0 Clemson and a pair of 3s for the Tigers.
And this is the best 3-point defensive team in the ACC, Wes.
Davon Smith runs the offense for Josh Pastner's Jackets.
And of course, man-to-man for the Tigers.
Rodney Howard with 10 to shoot, gets it to Smith. Dylan Hunter stays in front of him. Here's Jalen Moore against Shefflin. 5 to shoot. Moore tries to find his way to the baseline and turns it over. Well, if Georgia Tech's going to get something going tonight, Miles Kelly's got to be a big part of this, Dan, averaging better than 14 a game.
Well, you can see he's a really good 3-point shooter, Wes, and 62% of his baskets are 3s. So you got to be aware of his presence on the court.
Galloway a 3 and the foul. The foul is on Jalen Moore. It's his first on Georgia Tech. And 25-year-old Brevin Galloway, an 81% free throw shooter, goes to the line.
Wes, and the amazing thing about this is a Clemson team that percentage-wise shoots the 3 very well, but they only rely on the 3 for about 25% of their offense, and yet every single one of their shots and baskets has been a 3.
10-0 to start. Here is Howard just inside the top of the circle. Shefflin the rebound.
Wes, and this is a different start for Georgia Tech. They've started recently in about their last 3 or 4 games very well, and they don't hit this slump until later in the game.
First miss of the night for the Tigers. Off the short jump shot from Galloway. Here's Smith trying to get Georgia Tech on the board 2 minutes in.
Well, you'd like to get down the court quickly and get a basket or get an opportunity before Clemson can set this defense.
Coleman. Here's Howard. This is Kelly, who we spoke of earlier. And a 3-ball by Coleman off the mark. Hall runs down the rebound. Galloway and the Tigers right to Shefflin. And Ian Shefflin can't buy one. It got knocked around, and Coleman races through. And here's Georgia Tech in transition. Coleman all the way through. Threw it up under the basket. Tyson there to scoop it up for Clemson.
Wes, I don't know how they got that ball to Shefflin on the last fast break.
I don't think Ian knows either. All of a sudden it just appeared, right?
He was in the middle of a crowd.
Here's Hall. Skip for Tyson. Now Galloway. Dylan Hunter on the drive and fouled going to the basket. And the foul is going to be on Rodney Howard. It'll be the 6'11 senior transfers first and the second on Georgia Tech.
So far, Wes, Clemson is doing a great job moving the basketball from side to side. And once you move that defense around, then that creates driving opportunities. Dylan Hunter, not a threat from 3, but he can get it to the goal.
Just the 8th free throw attempt of the year for Hunter. And it is good. Dylan is the younger brother of Chase Hunter. One of 3 Hunter boys playing Division I sports. Jaden is the oldest. He is a linebacker at Western Kentucky, part of a New Orleans Bowl championship team. And there is Chase Hunter, who averages 14 points and better than 4 assists a game, missing tonight his 3rd straight game with an ankle injury. Dylan's on the board in his first career start, and it is a 12-0 Tiger lead.
Well, again, Georgia Tech has had to weather these storms but later in the game, usually they build a 10-point lead and then get stuck. But now they can't get off the schneid.
Davon Smith off the screen of Jordan Mecca, who's checked in the game, and Smith puts Georgia Tech on the board. 16:42 to go in this first half, and Davon Smith, who had 9 points and 7 assists in Saturday's home loss to Syracuse, gets Pastner's team a mark.
And Smith really is not noted for his jump shooting, Wes. He's a guy who attacks the basket.
I'd say that's what he did Saturday in the first half for sure. Hall threw it away. Turned over by the Tigers, their first. Here's Smith, and a 3-ball from the trailing Coleman off the mark. And P.J. Hall has the rebound from in front of Jordan Mecca. Quickly, Tyson in the front court.
Got to keep the ball moving against this defense.
Now here's
They're
Shefflin.
Man-to-man, Wes.
Yep. And that ball got deflected by Kelly. Pat Driscoll awards it to Georgia Tech, or awards it to Clemson. Josh Pastner's pretty hot about it. He thought it was last touched by the Tigers.
Well, but Pat Driscoll's a hard guy to get under his skin. He's just gonna, he rolls with the punches, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Here's Hall rolling on Mecca, got to the basket, scores, and draws the foul. Mecca draws the foul, the junior from Yaoundé in Cameroon, his first. Third on the Jackets. Except the Smith jump shot, it's been all Clemson early.
You deserve a better credit score.
And averaging just less than 8 threes a game, and they got 3 of them right from the jump.
Wes, they don't rely heavily on it. As I said, about 25% of their points in conference play comes from beyond the arc, but their first 3 attempts and make were threes, and now they're gone inside. And how about those numbers for P.J. Hall, Wes? I'm telling you, when he is right, when he is healthy, he's among the best 5 players in this league.
Yep. And it feels like he's starting to round into form, and that's without looking at just the scoring too, Dan. I think you got to look at what is, and boy, Brad Brownell today with us talking about the combination leadership that he and Hunter Tyson are giving to the success of this basketball program. Javon Franklin into the lineup during the timeout for Pastner, so he plays with Mecca inside, and then 3 guards, if you will, Kelly, Coleman, and Smith. And here's Kelly trying to size up Shefflin, gets it to Smith for a 3 that's good. Davon Smith's got all 5 of Georgia Tech's points, and that's his 9th 3 of the year to draw the Jackets to within 10.
Wes, in conference play, he shoots under 30% from out there, but they're not getting it from anywhere else.
Here's Shefflin. Bounce pass for Hall with Mecca defending. PJ out of a double team, turns and can't finish. Too strong on the soft jumper from in the middle.
That's pretty good defense by Georgia Tech. They covered up all his options. I don't think he really wanted to shoot the ball. He's worried about being in there 3 seconds, and he hurried a little bit.
5 minutes gone in the first half. Here's Franklin trying to square Shefflin, poked away from behind. A nice dig down by Dylan Hunter. Josh Pastner is in season number 7 in Atlanta, native of Kingwood, Texas. 80 wins in Atlanta, 247 in his career, and of course the 21 ACC tournament title that the Jackets won in Greensboro, with Michael DeVoe capturing the MVP honors. 3-ball out of the corner, and that's Miles Kelly.
Somehow he shot that from the Clemson bench. He shot that and then disappeared in the Clemson bench.
It is ruled a 2, but I saw Brett Hampton say they're going to check it at the next break. Middlebrooks is checked into the ball game. He wears number 10 for the Tigers. Hunter, Shefflin, now Galloway firing into the lane. Brevin all the way, got it scooped and blocked out of bounds with 9 to shoot.
Georgia Tech's really picked up the intensity in the man-to-man defense.
And of course, Brad Brownell is Clemson's all-time leader in wins with 234 and captured career win 400 10 days ago, roughly, when the Tigers beat Duke here in this building in front of a sellout house. Galloway inside. Brevin Galloway, Dan, has got 9 for Clemson.
Wes, he is one of those guys who's always he's always a threat to explode. He hasn't shot the three particularly well percentage-wise so far this year, but he is very capable. And you saw he's got some strength on the interior.
Here's Smith against Galloway. Two-pointer from the elbow. Rolled off the front rim. Tyson the rebound. Here's Dylan Hunter running the offense tonight for Clemson. Galloway, bounce pass, Middlebrook, strong to the basket off the left side for his first points.
Clemson really moving the ball well, Wes, whether it's against a man-to-man or a zone, moving the ball well, moving their personnel around. This is a really efficient Tiger offense so far.
Almost knocked out of there by Tyson. Back for Kelly, and another three that spins out.
That's a great defensive sequence right there, because Tyson and Middlebrooks really helped one another.
Galloway tried to slip it, did through traffic, and Middlebrooks couldn't finish the layup. Whoa, what a pass. Galloway to Middlebrooks.
Well, I don't know how that pass got through, Wes. He threw that into trouble, and somehow Middlebrooks missed that. I don't know how it got through, and I don't know how Middlebrooks didn't put it in the basket.
Davon Smith has got 7 of Georgia Tech's 9 here early.
They're glad they brought him today.
Woo. Been a tough start for the Jackets. Clemson was blitzing from the start.
Well, Wes, Clemson went out 10-0, and Georgia Tech has played them even since then.
And Dylan Hunter going to be ticketed for an offensive foul. That'll be the first on the Tigers and the first on Hunter.
Well, he hooked him on the drive.
Yep.
And this is something, Wes, that you can probably get away with unless you do it right in front of the referee. And Pat Driscoll's right there, and he can see what he sees is the back of Davon Smith, and he sees that arm of Hunter come around, and that's an easy call.
Substitutions all around the horn. Wiggins and Godfrey, along with Beadle on the floor for the first time for Clemson. Meanwhile, Kyle Sturdivant, wearing number 1 for Georgia Tech, is on the deck for the first time for Coach Pastner.
And Wiggins and Godfrey are a couple of guys who have really helped Clemson here in recent games.
Coleman, a runner, left it short. Godfrey gets the rebound. Quick outlet here is Beadle.
And Beadle's a guy who likes to go, Wes.
Yep. Here's Tyson. Sturdivant on him. Quick bounce pass, and now Godfrey to work against Rodney Howard with a right hand. R.J. Godfrey from Sewanee, Georgia, north of Atlanta, puts Clemson up a dozen.
That's some power right there, Wes.
Smith trying to use the Howard screen. Now Sturdivant against Tyson. Hunter slipped down out of the corner. Here's Smith, another three, and Howard will be called for the foul here as Godfrey pulls away the rebound. Second on Rodney Howard, 4th on the Jackets. Clemson by a dozen at Tigertown. Here on ACC Network and always on the ESPN app.
Wes, and you may notice that the score changed. It was 21-9 when we went away. They ruled this a 2 by Miles Kelly, but clearly that was a 3. He was behind the line, so they corrected that. So the score is now 21-10. And Wes, Kelly now becomes only the 2nd Yellow Jacket to score in this game.
Yeah, Davon Smith, Miles Kelly doing a lot of the damage, and Josh Beadle got all the way through and then lost it over the inline out of bounds. Second turnover for the Tigers, who lead by 11 now after we had the math adjustment during the break. Javon Franklin. Josh Pastner sizing down, taking Howard off the floor, who now has got 2 fouls, by the way. That may be part of it as well. Sturdivant.
Yeah, he's looking for some offense. Mecca.
Oh! Davon Smith went for the hammer, and P.J. Hall fought back with the nail.
Wow. Now, Davon Smith, he's had some impressive dunks so far this year.
No top 10 for you tonight, Davon.
No, this is the wrong guy to challenge. We talked about the skill set of P.J. Hall, and one of his skills is excellent timing on those blocked shots attempt. Wow, that was some play.
My goodness. Kelly with 5 to shoot, thrown away to Godfrey. And a foul in the backcourt on Smith. His first. 5 on the Jackets now in the first half with 9 minutes gone. Okay, we wonder where P.J. Hall is in terms of 100%, Dan. I'm beginning to believe we're close.
Well, he does a great job here, Wes, because he steps away from Davon Smith. Smith is going on the baseline, and Hall takes one step to the middle of the court so he doesn't hit him with his body. That's great body control, really smart play, and he gets the shot block.
3-ball Galloway. Front rim miss. Here is Davon Smith. He is some kind of springy athlete, isn't he? Left side, Coleman's triple. Rebounded Jalen Moore. Now Sturdivant will try one from the Tiger paw. And Hall the rebound for Clemson.
Clemson had a couple looks, Wes. Or excuse me, Georgia Tech did.
Wiggins a long two. Chauncey Wiggins, just his 10th field goal of the year, Dan. For the freshman from Grayson, Georgia.
Yeah, Wes, but he's playing with a lot of confidence. He had that big game against Wake Forest.
Nice backdoor cut and pass. Sturdivant to Debo Coleman for his first points.
Well, Wes, and you mentioned Georgia Tech playing small, and that's because they're worried about their offense. Jordan Mecca would give them more size out there, but Mecca is no threat on the offensive end.
Hall trying to set the screen. Godfrey attacking off the dribble. Now Beadle skips it for Hall. 3-ball in the corner. And the rebound pulled away by the Jackets. Well done by Jalen Moore on the box out. Here's Davon Smith. Back for Moore. And that bounces around and drops in. Third 3 of the year for Jalen Moore out of Birmingham.
And that's what you call a friendly bounce, Wes.
You hear the term soft rims, Dan?
Yeah, particularly for a guy who's shooting 22% in conference play from out there.
Godfrey, after a miserable start, the foul will be ticketed on Coleman. It'll be his first, 6th on Georgia Tech. And wholesale changes here with Shefflin, Tyson, and Dylan Hunter coming back. Here's the soft rim for Jalen Moore.
Well, again, he's 2 for 9 from 3 in ACC play, and that hits about every spot on the rim that can hit before it goes in the basket.
Hunter to put it in play. Here's Shefflin. Bounce pass for Hall. Turns on Franklin with the right hand. Left it on the front of the rim, and Shefflin loses the rebound battle to Moore.
Good defense now. Can the Yellow Jackets climb back in the game with some points?
Yeah, here's Sturdivant working all the way through. Here's Franklin left of the lane. Javon Franklin's first points, and all of a sudden it's back to 6. Georgia Tech has recovered from the dismal start here.
Yeah, that great circle route Sturdivant took through the lane, drew the defense. And Franklin, he's a pretty good mid-range jump shooter.
Yep. 7-0 run by the Jackets to get it to within 6. Shefflin. Inside, here's Hall over Franklin. Got the roll with the right hand. That's 5 for P.J. Hall on his second field goal.
Hall is so strong in there. It's just hard to move him out. Franklin's not big enough to keep him from shooting over.
Smith against Dylan Hunter. Clemson stays in the man-to-man. Here's Javon Franklin spinning on Hall. Tries to get to the basket. Misses the rebound for Tyson. That's a pretty good matchup with Franklin and Hall.
It is, but you saw again the skill set of P.J. Hall. He's able to move his feet and stay in front.
Here's Hall going for the dunk. Rubbed out of there, no foul, and all of a sudden here's Smith and Georgia Tech looking for an alley. And that's an offensive foul on Moore, I believe. No, it'll be a block on Shefflin. Brad Brownell not happy at all with Brent Hampton's whistle. It'll be the first on Shefflin. It's the second on Clemson. P.J. Hall a block at one end. And that one on Davon Smith. Clemson by 8. Meeting all time between Clemson and Georgia Tech. Tigers by 8 at 25-17 here.
Wes, but the Tigers really started out quickly. They ran off 10 points almost before Georgia Tech got settled in. They made 3 threes. The Yellow Jackets have done a really nice job battling back.
Georgia Tech, who shoots 66% from the line in conference play, goes to the stripe for the first time tonight. Jalen Moore out of Birmingham will get 2 shots here. And the first one no good. Quick reminder to you, we got A full Saturday of ACC basketball. 1 o'clock, we get you going from Winston-Salem with the Pack and the Deeks. And then Duke is in Atlanta to meet Georgia Tech, presented by Food Lion at 3. Subway brings you Clemson and Florida State at 5. And then Dan and I'll be in the New River Valley for Syracuse and the Hokies, who beat Duke last night at the Castle.
Well, the Hokies lost those 7 games in a row, Wes, but they are a much, much better team than that.
Boy, sure are.
And that NC State-Wake Forest game, that's one of the classic ACC rivalries, Wes.
Tyson a missed 3, and then Hall reaches in to draw the foul. It'll be his 3rd. So 1 on P.J. Hall, and Ben Middlebrooks will check in to replace Hall.
And Middlebrooks and Shefflin and Hall have really created a nice combination inside for Brad Brownell. And now Godfrey is added to that group.
And we're going to get a foul here.
I think Tyson with
Hunter Tyson, yep. It'll be his first. It's 4 on Clemson.
He grabbed a hold of whoever that was going by.
Yep. 7:20 to go in this first half. Hunter's got a 3 to start the game, and that's all we've heard from the grad student from Monroe, North Carolina here in the first half so far. Sturdivant works off the screen of Franklin. Into the corner. Here's Moore attacking on the dribble. Stripped out of there. Middlebrooks comes up with the Georgia Tech turnover.
Really nice job by Middlebrooks, West, to not try to push anything right there.
Here's Tyson trying to get by Debo Coleman. Offensive foul called by Pat Driscoll. That'll be 2 on Tyson, 5 on Clemson here in the first half.
Well, Wes, you mentioned that we haven't really heard much from Tyson. They're defending him with a smaller guy. A little bit harder for Hunter Tyson to drive by. Nice job by Debo Coleman to move his feet.
Brad Brownell with a word for the ACC's number 6 scorer in conference play. It's 17 a game. Sturdivant against Wiggins, who's back on the floor for Coach Brownell. Lob, Franklin to catch and dunk. Second basket for Javon Franklin at Little Rock, Arkansas. Georgia Tech to within 5.
Well, Georgia Tech sort of flipping the script from their last few games, Wes. Usually they start quickly and fall off. Here
it's going to be on Franklin. That'll be his first. That's 7 on Georgia Tech with 6:22 to go in the first half.
And Josh Pastner's guys tonight, they got behind 10-0, and now they're really making a run here. They just lose Franklin. That's Wiggins. He's in the game because Tyson went out with foul trouble.
Yep. So here's Galloway. Front end of the 1-and-1, left it on the rim. And Brevin tried to get his own rebound and lost it to Moore.
Georgia Tech's made 4 out of their last 5 field goal attempts.
Yep. Davon Smith clutched on a deep one, spots up for the long 2, and the Jackets 2 within 3. 9 for Smith on his 4th field goal.
That's a really nice job, recognizing that he's got a bigger guy against him, creating some room and knocking down a jump shot.
12-2 run has got him to within 3. Wiggins a 3. Got it from way out on the left. His 6th of the year. A layup attempt no good, and a rebound for Sturdivant.
Well, West, 3 of those 6 came in that Wake Forest game.
That's right. Yeah, he had 10 in Winston-Salem in the Tigers conference loss last Tuesday night. Sturdivant thought about it. On the drive, fall away. Nope. And Hunter will run it down in the corner. Dillon trying to attack. Back out front, here's Shefflin. Got to find somebody. Here's Hunter. 5 minutes to go in this first half. Galloway, 3 at the top. Got it. Galloway rings the bell, Dan. He's got a dozen to lead Clemson in the first half.
Wes, he is a very confident shooter. A good screen by Middlebrooks. And again, Galloway is one of those guys who can go off.
Yep. 9-point lead again for the Tigers after Georgia Tech had cut it to 5. Smith off the Franklin screen. Hunter doing a nice job trying to stay in front. 8 to shoot. Here's Sturdivant. Bounce pass baseline in traffic. Franklin had it, lost it. Middlebrooks with the Georgia Tech turnover. Number 4 on Pastner's team here in the first half.
Wes, and the last 3 have come bang, bang, and that's been a problem for Georgia Tech. They sometimes put themselves in trouble because they turn the ball over.
Here's Wiggins again on the drive. Chauncey off the glass.
Wow.
7 in the first half for Wiggins. Josh Pastner a timeout. Back to an 11-point Clemson lead with 4:03 to go. And the man from Anderson is driving it. Brevin Galloway knocking down threes. Back after this.
Subway's up in their sub.
Tigers by 11 here at Littlejohn Coliseum. I read in the preseason where Chauncey Wiggins was a long-range prospect. I don't think they were talking about his shooting, though, Dan.
Well, no, and he has certainly, the long range isn't quite as long as they thought, because he has, particularly over the last few games, has made a substantial contribution. Wes, he is the second leading scorer tonight for Clemson.
Right.
He came off the bench and has played extremely well.
Yeah, Wiggins at 6'10". He's part of a Gwinnett County influence. That's a county right adjacent to Atlanta, north of the city, if you will. Ian Shefflin, Chauncey Wiggins, R.J. Godfrey, all the guys you can look at now. Chase Hunter, of course, and Dylan Hunter from Westlake, which is more metropolitan Atlanta, but Wiggins, Shefflin, and certainly Godfrey all contributing here in the first half for Brad Brownell's team, who's back up 11.
And what a great job by Wiggins to move his feet.
Sturdivant, and it fell off, and Godfrey the rebound.
But that whole play was keyed by Wiggins preventing Davon Smith from getting by.
Look at Wiggins all the way to the basket. Can't finish on the layup. And Davon Smith, who averages better than 5 rebounds a game, trying to do the one-man fast break and gets it to Franklin for the dunk. Third field goal for Javon Franklin. He's got 6. Smith's got 9. That's 15 to Georgia Tech's 24.
Nice job by Franklin to get great position, so all he had to do was catch it and dunk it.
Coleman will commit the foul as Shefflin made the catch.
This is just a great job by Franklin running to a spot, Wes. Sometimes you see a big guy run to a spot, so when he catches the ball, he's got to take a dribble to get to the basket, and that allows the defense to get there. But Franklin does a great job finding the spot where he can just catch it and dunk it.
Shefflin is 77%. First one from Ian.
Clemson has now missed 2 consecutive front ends of the 1-and-1, and they're a really good free throw shooting team.
Yeah, they're number 1 in conference play at 86%. And there's Davon Smith.
And I think they're number 5 in the country, Wes.
Yep. Yeah, they're better than 86% in conference play. Georgia Tech to within 7, all 4 in a row here. Here's Godfrey with Coleman defending. Offensive foul. R.J. Godfrey picks up the personal. It'll be his first. It is 6 on the Tigers.
Well, this is a situation where Godfrey, he catches the ball, Wes, and if you're a guy like Godfrey at his size, you have to be able to take and do a little turnaround jump shot or a little hook shot from there. I mean, he's close to the basket. You don't need to get another foot or 2 closer and pick up that foul.
P.J. Hall came onto the floor. Godfrey thought he was coming out, and instead it's Shefflin who checks out for Coach Brownell. So Hall, Godfrey, Wiggins, Dylan Hunter, and Brevin Galloway out there for Clemson.
Wes, I'll tell you.
And thrown away by Georgia Tech.
There's another turnover.
Here's Hunter into the front court to the trailing Galloway. On the drive, lost the handle. They'll go to the deck. Look at Hall roll around. Davon Smith had a crack at it. Godfrey makes the save. Baseline, here's Hall. PJ through traffic. And are they going to call a offensive foul or step out of bounds?
A block.
A block? Josh Pastner just lost his pen. Fired up about to call. It is going to be a block on Davon Smith. It's his second. It's the 9th
Once you establish initial guarding position, Wes, you're allowed to move to maintain it. But in that particular play, it didn't look like Smith ever established guarding position.
So here's P.J. Hall. 81%. Free throw good. Don't forget, if you're a fan and you're at an ACC sporting event, we'd love to see it. Capture it, tag it, and post it on your social media. Use the hashtag #AllTheDevotion and look for it at ACC Network and all our social media platforms. 6 for Hall. Make it 7. And the lead to 9 with 2:10 to play first half. Sturdivant. Here's Franklin. Good screen by Franklin. Sturdivant left open 17 feet, knocks it down. 99th career game tonight for Kyle Sturdivant. He had 18 in the overtime loss at Notre Dame. And on the board here tonight at Clemson.
He's a pretty good mid-range jump shooter.
Godfrey. Here's Dylan Hunter. Back for R.J. Godfrey. Now Hunter trying to attack on the dribble. Hall tried to get the entry pass. Smith stepped out of bounds. It'll stay with Clemson, but only 8 to shoot. And 1:32 to play in the first half.
This is just a situation where Wiggins there gets caught up on the screen, and P.J. Hall drops off a little too far and can't get back.
They tried to get it to Hall. Franklin tried to make the save, and Franklin threw it off of Hall. P.J. Hall was asking Justin Porterfield about something there and litigating on behalf of Clemson, but nonetheless it goes to Georgia Tech. Sturdivant. Here's Kelly now. Step back long 2. And Godfrey will run down the rebound.
Really good block out by Galloway.
Yep. Here's Galloway. Godfrey left open momentarily. Hunter skips it in the corner. Wiggins lines it up, spins out on another 3. Here's Kyle Sturdivant, leaves it for Davon Smith. And Galloway alone for the rebound.
Again, three-point shooting is not Davon Smith's strength.
Davon Smith on the year, 24%. And there's a Tiger timeout for Brad Brownell. His team's gone 3 minutes without a field goal, but still leading by 7 here at home.
Subway keeps up in the game.
Up here after a very tough start, Dan. They've rallied back, had as many as close as 5 here in this first half. They trail by 7 at 35-28. Jackets play tonight without Lance Terry, averaging better than 9 against the league, and Tristan Maxwell, who's got a hip pointer. He didn't even make the trip here tonight.
Well, and of course Clemson's still playing without Alex Hemingway, who hadn't played since December with that foot problem, and they're playing without Chase Hunter.
Yeah. So the ball will belong to Clemson.
There's Hunter and Hemingway on the bench.
Yeah, the guys look good in the Grit After Dark t-shirts, but I mean,
I think Brad Brownell would rather have it in the, the regalia? Is that what you said that color was?
That's what the color is. It's tiger orange and regalia.
Okay, all right.
In the corner, Galloway. Coleman there quickly to cover the Clemson sharpshooter.
I'm an old guy. That looks like purple to me.
Got news for you. Here is Galloway, left open, 3 ball. Spins off. Chauncey Wiggins.
Wow.
Have a half. He's got 9.
Weston, Clemson is not a great offensive rebounding team. But boy, they had everybody around the basket that time. And Wiggins, what a bouncy guy.
Here's Davon Smith with 6 seconds. Jackets will take the last shot of the half. Smith thought about it. Step back 3. Off the mark. And Clemson is going to take a 37-28 lead to the locker room here at halftime, Dan.
Right, Clemson started really well and then withstood a Clemson run. And Wiggins, how about Wiggins? 9 points off the bench for the Tigers.
Yep. Well, Clemson shoots 50. Size that one up tonight. You follow basketball, huh? Well, you see the shooting numbers in this half. Clemson at 50, Georgia Tech at 39. The turnover number, surprising to see Clemson with more than Georgia Tech, Dan, at the break.
But I thought the turnovers hurt Georgia Tech worse than they hurt Clemson.
3 ball from the front rim miss for Kelly and the Tigers. With Dylan Hunter in his first career start tonight. Of course, his older brother Chase on the shelf, as is Alex Hemingway for Brownell's club. Here's Tyson inside Hall, the catch and score. 9 for P.J. Hall on his 3rd field goal.
Wes, unless he shoots that as quickly as he did, he's double teamed and in trouble. What a great job to get rid of it.
Here's Kelly out front. High post to Howard, who picked up 2 fouls and had to go to the bench.
I thought that really hurt Georgia Tech. They rely on Howard. Pass that ball out from the top.
Coleman trying to back down Galloway, leans in and off the iron, and Hall will pull it away, and the held ball will go to the Tigers.
Wes, P.J. Hall, we talked about the number of skills that he has that he can apply, but here he just gets rid of the ball. He feels the double team coming. Nothing fancy about that. No fancy hook shot, no left-handed play. Just get rid of it and knock it in the basket.
Howard tried to help on the screen. They quickly get it left corner. Shefflin. And a little long with the 3.
Some traps by Georgia Tech that time in the half court.
Yep. Here's Kelly against Hunter.
Hunter's done a really nice job against Kelly tonight.
Sure has. Miles Kelly's got just a 3-point goal for his scoring. Now he'll rub off the Howard screen up top. 10 to shoot. Davon Smith will put a charge in it from 3. And the rebound for Howard. 2nd chance for the Jackets. Kelly, here's Coleman.
Georgia Tech actually a pretty good offensive rebounding team.
Yep. 4 of them tonight at the offensive end. Coleman good on the jumper. 2nd field goal for the sophomore Debo Coleman.
Wes, that's a tough shot. The Clemson, now of course the defense doesn't stop till you have the ball, and they didn't get the defensive rebound, but otherwise their defense was pretty solid.
Here's Hall, catch and shoot 3. Front rim. Smith battle. He was over the top of Jalen Moore.
It's amazing how many rebounds he gets from that guard spot.
And there's a turnover. Davon dragged the foot. 6th turnover for Georgia Tech. Debo Coleman is coming off a season high on Saturday against Syracuse.
That's just a really good move. He backed Galloway down and then was able to step back. And we're talking about Davon Smith. Nominally, he's the point guard. And in ACC play, he leads the Yellow Jackets in rebounds.
Yep, sure does. Here's Hall again. Rodney Howard there. PJ scores and draws the foul. Hey, when you're playing like Hall is, you count your own bucket, too.
This is an entirely different sequence on the inside. He can't get rid of it quickly. He goes right to Hall. He feels the pressure. The double team runs by.
PJ awarded himself the free throw.
Yeah, and Howard picks up the foul, and that's his 3rd foul.
My goodness.
Really good job by Hall to attack in that situation and be alert enough to avoid that double team.
3rd on Rodney Howard. He'll come out of the lineup for Coach Pastner. Javon Franklin has reported in for the first time here in the 2nd half.
And Georgia Tech going with that smaller, more athletic lineup.
Yep. So here's Hall to the line. He's got 11, make it 12. 12-point lead for the Tigers. Almost 3 minutes gone here, 2nd half at Littlejohn Coliseum. Sturdivant tried to get it to Franklin, threw it away. And Jalen Moore quickly off the bench to replace Kyle Sturdivant. And the 7th Georgia Tech turnover. And Brent Hampton wants Dylan Hunter to tuck in the regalia. Tyson. Been a quiet night for Hunter Tyson. Hall working around Franklin. He'll draw the foul. That's 2 on Javon Franklin. Now, here's the other thing. You knew, and I noted this when we were here for the Duke game. P.J. Hall's the kind of player He can get you in foul trouble, Dan.
Well, Wes, you saw one of the reasons right there. That time he caught the ball. He wasn't close to the low post, but he's able to turn and drive it into that low post area.
Hunter, one dribble in the lane to Shefflin, and Ian finally lost the handle on it. Turned over by the Tigers.
Well, Hunter actually threw that ball into trouble.
Yep.
Shefflin was surrounded in there. Didn't really help him to get that ball.
Moore can't get through. Here's Smith for Franklin with Dylan Hunter on him. That's a win for Georgia Tech. Franklin went back to the basket. Moore going to follow on the weak side off the miss for the hoop. 6 now for Jalen Moore. Had 17 against NC State to go with 8 rebounds and a home loss.
As soon as Shefflin went to help, Moore went right to the basket.
Yep.
Nice play.
Hunter skip for Shefflin. Baseline back for Hunter in the corner. Here's Tyson. Coleman there. They whip it back around the front. Here's Galloway. 3 bounds away to Smith.
Tyson's been very quiet tonight, Wes. He's only attempted 2 shots.
Yeah, Georgia Tech's done a pretty good job finding him, whether it be in the man that we've seen briefly or the zone package.
Well, Debo Coleman has been basically the guy guarding him man-to-man.
Yep.
And he's got enough size that he can stay with it.
Out front, here's Kelly. Catch and shoot. Hall, another rebound.
And that's a shot that Georgia Tech has to make. Kelly's got to make a pretty good percentage of those shots if they're going to get back in this one.
Tyson will cut one loose, and it bounds away. I think he was just trying to get something going there, Dan.
Yeah, I do, but maybe trying to get something going in the mid-range, Wes. He's got a couple inches on Debo Coleman. He doesn't want to be trying to drive past him, but get in the mid-range and get the, catch the ball with his back to the basket. A little turnaround jumper. 10-point
lead. Both teams kind of trying to find their way offensively. Here's Shefflin inside against Moore and had it blocked. Ian got it back. Here's Hunter, left open 3-ball. Got it! Dylan Hunter finally knocks it home from 3 for the first time this year. And a timeout taken by Georgia Tech. Josh Pastner's team trails by 13 after the freshman from Westlake High School in Atlanta strikes from behind the line. The way we start second halves, it's been trouble. In fact, he said we may stay in the locker room and just come out and play, not even come out and shoot shots before the second half starts. You see the last 5 games, from the start of the half to the under-16 timeout, they were 8 of 36 in their last 5. Tonight, Dan, they're 2 of 8. That's a disturbing thing. When you're coaching and it struggles is on, it drives you crazy, doesn't it?
Well, and what do you do about that?
Right.
I don't know, and I don't think Josh is taking much comfort in the fact that they're 3 percentage points better tonight than they have been.
Right.
But here, they go to the locker room at halftime, down 37-28, and here they come back, and immediately now they're down by 13.
Yep.
And they struggle to score anyway, so it's hard for them to come back.
Chauncey Wiggins on the floor. Remember we spoke of him coming into the second half after a 9-point first half. Backdoor cut. Franklin to dunk. Javon Franklin's got 8 tonight, and I think all of them are around the rim. At least 3 of them are.
He set a screen. Galloway fell down. He recognized that Galloway was down, and so his man had to go cover the ball, and he just goes right to the basket.
Quick cut. Here's Hunter inside. Dylan trying to go up strong, does against Franklin and scores. Dylan Hunter now with 5 in a row.
That's a pretty impressive play by Hunter because he didn't catch the ball cleanly, and I didn't think he'd be able to get that one off. Hunter's been solid tonight, Wes.
Yep. Here's Wiggins trying to stay in front of the cat-quick Davon Smith.
And doing a nice job staying in front of him.
Kelly rounding over to the top. Jump shot off mark and rebounded by Smith. He stepped out of bounds. Brent Hampton will award it to Clemson. Well, Javon Franklin has got 8, 3 of them on dunks, but Stan said just a nice move here. Clemson in front 13 at Littlejohn.
Gatorade.
Well, Dan, here's today's version of bracketology with our buddy Joe Lenardi. He's got 7 ACC teams in the field, and Wake and Virginia Tech kind of in the neighborhood, if you will.
Well, Wes, and one of the things that Joe is looking at, everybody's looking at, what's your record against the various quads? Everybody here, quad one wins, quad one wins. Where there's Clemson, they're 2-2 in quad one. They have 2 quad one wins. The problem for the Tigers is down there at the bottom. They've got those 2 quad 4 losses. They're lost to South Carolina. They're lost to Loyola Chicago. And that's one of the reasons why Brad Brownell's team, even though they've been very impressive this year, they can't afford to stumble against a team like Georgia Tech.
Got a 13-point lead with 13.5 to go.
Jackets back to that zone.
Here is Hunter sneaking baseline and scores.
Wow. He has
every little play. Dylan Hunter's got 7 in a row. The 3 ball lit the pilot light.
Yes, it does.
Here's Franklin in traffic, blocked out of there by Middlebrooks. It'll stay with the Jackets. Can I tell you something I learned about Ben Middlebrooks last week?
You may tell me.
Ben Middlebrooks been hiding out on us. Do you know who his uncle is?
Who?
Danny Cannell, the former Florida State quarterback. And you know who I had to hear it from? Danny Cannell. Javon Franklin, another dunk. 10 for Franklin, who was in double figures at Notre Dame with 12 points and 12 rebounds a week ago.
Franklin just keeps grinding away out there, Wes. He's only 6'7", a little bit undersized.
Tyson a runner, and he'll get free throws. Foul, I believe, on Jalen Moore. It'll be his second. I've got Clemson, or Georgia Tech now for 3 here in the second half.
Wes, we're talking about Hunter Tyson and what he needs to do to get going. And one of the ways he can get going is taking the ball and driving it to the basket and getting to the free throw line.
Here is Tyson, 5th best free throw shooter in the ACC at 84%. First trip to the line tonight. And the first of 2 is good. Don't forget, women's basketball and a quadruple header teed up for you this weekend. Starts at noon with Louisville and Syracuse. Then a top 24 matchup. Duke visits Tallahassee for Florida State, and then Carolina Clemson here at Littlejohn at 4, and Virginia Tech Virginia, presented by Food Lion, caps off the quadruple header on ACC Network, always available on the ESPN app. Tyson hit them both. He's got 5, and the lead is 15.
And it's a lead, Wes, that's really been created by Clemson's defense.
Moore. There's Kelly on the drive and scores. Miles Kelly, just his 2nd field goal. Comes in as Georgia Tech's leading scorer at better than 14 a game in league play.
And that's the first time, Wes, he's really been able to get loose.
And an offensive foul on Dylan Hunter. Well, they whistled it on 5. It's on Hunter Tyson. I thought it was on Dylan Hunter. So nonetheless, it's on Tyson. His 3rd. That's just the first of the second half on Clemson. I apologize to Dylan Hunter here.
An illegal screen. That's Hunter Tyson right in the middle of your screen.
I saw it there. So Tyson is out on his 3rd foul.
That was some screen, though.
Yeah, it was. Franklin, bounce pass inside. Moore to work, turns with the left hand, and a foul will be ticketed to Chauncey Wiggins, or R.J. Godfrey. 2nd on Godfrey, 2nd on Clemson. Free throws for Georgia Tech when we come back on a Tuesday night. For a start, Dan.
Well, he played very solidly in the first half, Wes, with a couple of assists. Pretty good job defensively, but he's got it going here offensively in the second half. Driving to the basket, scoring inside, and hitting his first career 3-point basket. And, of course, all these numbers here are career highs.
So we had a foul going to the break on Godfrey. So Dylan Hunter back out with Brevin Galloway, Wiggins, Hall, and the aforementioned Godfrey.
7 of those 9 points for Dylan Hunter, Wes, have come here in this little stretch in the second half.
Yep. Jalen Moore will be at the line. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Has 6 points. And the first one good. Don't forget we got a full weekend of basketball for you on ACC Network. State and Wake from Winston-Salem get you going at 1. And then Duke and Georgia Tech in Atlanta, presented by Food Lion, follows that. And then Subway brings you Clemson's visit to Florida State. And then Dan and I will be with you from Blacksburg for the Hokies and Orange to put a cap on it. All on ACC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app.
Weston, among the problems the Yellow Jackets have had tonight, they simply haven't been able to get to the free throw line. That was only free throws number 3 and 4 for Georgia Tech.
On the drive, Hunter tried to get it to Hall, went right through PJ's hands over the inline. So it's an 11-point lead for Brad Brownell's team. That's their 9th turnover tonight.
Well, Wes, it's their 9th turnover, but Georgia Tech has only been able to convert those turnovers into 4 points. And so that's what we were talking about before. Clemson, they have forced 8 turnovers, and they've converted them to 13 points. So Georgia Tech hadn't really taken advantage of the turnovers.
Kelly against Hunter. Tried to use a screen from Franklin. Now Smith with Wiggins there. 3 to shoot. Here's Jalen Moore. And the rebound for Hall.
You know, it's hard to get past Wiggins, and it's impossible to shoot over him if you're Davon Smith.
Brevin Galloway. Backdoor. P.J. Hall sets it down. 14 for Hall on his 5th field goal. Pretty basketball from the Tigers.
Absolutely. Nice pass and really good one-handed catch.
Franklin. Now Smith. He'll back out against Wiggins. Sturdivant with 7 to shoot. Takes his own initiative and scores. 2nd field goal for Kyle Sturdivant. Here's Hall again. Galloway. PJ a 3 from the front.
Wes, when he's rolling, this team is really tough.
He's got 17 now. That's his 17th 3 of the year, and a whistle and foul called. And it's on PJ Hall. It'll be his 2nd and the 3rd on Clemson.
P.J. Hall, Wes, he sets a good screen. 2 people go with Galloway because they're worried about his 3-point shooting. Nobody around the basket. That's not a good way to defend P.J. Hall.
And now Pat Driscoll, as Jalen Moore checks out. Debo Coleman has come in.
Coleman's been quiet offensively, done a pretty good job defensively.
Smith a 2-ball and Shefflin the rebound. He checked in during that break for the Tigers.
Well, Smith is 6'1", and it's hard to shoot it over the 6'10" Wiggins.
Yeah, Chauncey Wiggins he really sparked Clemson at the end of the first half, I thought. Shefflin, nice pass. And Galloway, that'll be a goaltend on Franklin. And Brevin Galloway's now got 14 on his 5th field goal. First basket of the 2nd half.
Georgia Tech trying to be aggressive in the man-to-man defense, and this is just a nice little bounce pass into traffic, but he found an opening, did Shefflin.
It hit the glass, right?
Yep. Once the ball hits the board, you can't touch it.
16-point Clemson lead. Sturdivant trying to get past his motion offense going. There's Moore at the foul line. Howard the rebound, and he couldn't hang on to it.
Well, he couldn't hang on to it because Dylan Hunter was there knocking it away.
How about that? Here's Wiggins.
Look out.
He'll roll. Look at this shot. Nope, off the mark. Shefflin had a crack at it. Coleman out of there. Georgia Tech trying to get in transition. Kelly a quick 3. Moore the backside rebound. Another 3-ball, and that goes off the iron, and Hall the rebound from in front of Howard.
Wes, Kelly was the guy we featured before the game, and we talked about how Georgia Tech, to be successful, Kelly had to have a big night, and he simply hasn't.
Here's Hall, entry for Shefflin, and he's fouled by Jalen Moore. That'll be the 3rd on Moore, 4th on Georgia Tech here in the 2nd half.
That last shot that Wiggins just took, that's called a buzzer shot, Wes. You take that and the buzzer sounds and somebody comes in the game for you. And
now, wait a second. Chelsea's had a pretty good night.
I understand that, but he still took a buzzer shot, and Hunter Tyson is back in the game.
Here is Hall. Hunter put it in play to PJ, and he got it right back, and I think it surprised Dillon. Here's Tyson trying to get on track. And bounds off the rim.
Well, it surprised Hunter because he was trying to get in bounds.
Yeah. Sturdivant gets it to Coleman. Shefflin trying to stop the turn of Moore, did, and Tyson collects the air ball. Tigers are a lot better than you think at the defensive end, Dan.
Well, Wes, they contest everything. They contest every pass. They contest every dribble. They contest every drive.
And the ball's poked away by Coleman. And that'll get us to a timeout. Under 8 to play. Tigers by 16.
Next on Behind.
Can learn some things.
Well, Clemson, obviously, they've had a great season, Wes. They're 16-4. This is their remaining schedule. And look all the way in the right-hand column. What you're looking for if you're the Tigers, you want to get as many quad 1 wins as you can. And you see here they don't have that many opportunities left, just 3. And, of course, they'd be very tough games at North Carolina, at NC State, at Virginia. You want to avoid at all costs a quad 3 or a quad 4 loss. And so that's what the Tigers are looking at. They only have one game that's not in, that's in the second quad, and that's Miami, and that'll be a heck of a game.
Oh, boy, tell me.
On February 4th. But what you're hunting is quad 1 wins, and what you're trying to avoid is quad 3 and 4 losses.
Tyson, not Hunter's night, is it?
It is not.
Under 8 to go, 16-point lead for Clemson. Here's Kelly. Jackets trying to make a run here.
Wes, and that says something about this Clemson team. Chase Hunter is not playing at all, and Hunter Tyson is having an off game, and yet they're still ahead by 16 points.
Start of it. Here's Franklin. 10 to shoot for the Jackets. Squeezing into traffic and flipping it up is a tough shot rewarded from Miles Kelly.
Wes, and that's been the issue for Georgia Tech. When they get shots, for the most part, they've been tough shots. It's hard to score a lot of points when you're limited to tough shots.
Here's Dylan Hunter. Now Shefflin. Here's Hall in the corner. Tyson a 3. Well, he's awake. Just his second field goal of the ball game.
And that wasn't bad defense. Against the zone, Clemson moved the ball pretty well, but Franklin was out there contesting the shot. That's just good offense by Hunter.
17-point game. 61-44. Debo Coleman squares. And Tyson the rebound.
Boy, that's some rebound.
It is. And you know what? When he's not having a great shooting night, it doesn't detract from the rest of his game.
He guards, he rebounds, he does everything he needs to do.
Yep. Here's Shefflin. Strong move and a layup good. First basket of the night for Ian Shefflin. And a timeout taken. Georgia Tech trailing by 19 with 6 minutes to play.
Has this ever happened to you?
How was
63-44, Dan, better than 6 minutes to play. And again, maybe not having a great scoring night. Hunter Tyson keeps chasing, man.
Well, he does, Wes, and he hit that. Was a tough shot, and this is just a great job. Howard has inside position, but Hunter Tyson has shown you he is a really good rebounder, and the number's a little low tonight, Wes, but I think he's done a good job defensively. He's also been in some foul trouble, so that has limited his minutes, but Wiggins has come off the bench and played very well.
Georgia Tech was Sturdivant, the senior from Norcross. Jackets have only hit 1 of their last 7 from the floor. 6 minutes to go, and Tigers by 19.
Boy, there's just nowhere to go.
Yep. Shefflin trying to keep Sturdivant at bay. 3 ball. Tyson the rebound. Here's Hall. Backdoor cut, and Galloway tried to fire it through to Shefflin, got deflected out of there. Turned over by the Tigers. Here's Sturdivant out of the corner for 3. And Shefflin will collect that miss.
Wes, and again, Georgia Tech with a turnover and opportunity, and they're not able to convert. Georgia Tech has been relentlessly working this ball inside.
Hall had it fall off the front.
He hadn't missed many tonight.
Nope. And Sturdivant gets it to Coleman. Skip pass, Coleman a three. Nope. They've missed 10 threes here in the second half. And 11 now. How about a third try? Josh Pastner with 14 to shoot. Resets the offense.
He's out on the court. They're going to have to defend him soon.
And that ball got deflected by Dylan Hunter with 8 on the shot clock. And here comes Jalen Moore into the lineup with Javon Franklin.
But Wes, when Georgia Tech is not scoring from beyond the arc, they're going to struggle because in conference play, they get 37% of their scoring from behind the three-point line.
Yep.
So it's a big part of their offense.
Six to shoot. Here's Sturdivant. And he traveled. Yep.
This is what we're talking about with the defense, Wes. They just make it really tough. Sturdivant has a big guy on him and figures, okay, I can drive by, but he's not able to get by because Middlebrooks moves his feet and forces a turnover.
Yep. Hunter tried to go to Middlebrooks, taken by Franklin. And Javon will lay it in. He's got 12 in the ball game.
Middlebrooks needs to step toward that ball, Wes, and nice job by Franklin to anticipate the pass. But if he steps toward the ball, then Franklin runs into him. It's a foul.
Galloway trying to weave on the pick of Middlebrooks. Shefflin. Here's Tyson working on Debo Coleman. Fall away. Spins in.
Wes, Coleman does a nice job cutting him off. Tyson can't get all the way, but that's what we were talking about earlier. Get the ball into the lane, hit the turnaround jump shot.
Hunter Tyson just 3 for 7 tonight, 2 of 5 from behind the line, but is in double figures with 10.
Well, Weston, he's got 8 rebounds, so he could finish the game with a double-double.
Yep. Moore slips it to Kelly, and through traffic, Miles Kelly scores. That's 9 for Kelly. 6 here in the second half. But it's a 17-point Clemson lead with 3:20 to play.
Yeah, the hill may be a little too big for Georgia Tech to climb here.
Here's Hunter. Galloway standing in the paw, finds Middlebrooks. Little shot fake and layup. Ben Middlebrooks' second field goal.
The zone had started to shift over for an open Tyson in the corner, and they just left Middlebrooks on the inside. Nice job to find him.
Here's Smith using the Franklin screen. Spot up off the elbow. And the rebound, Tyson. Georgia Tech is now 9 of 29 from the floor in the second half. 31%. Here's Hunter. Galloway. Nice pass, Middlebrooks. Skip for Shefflin's 3. And Smith the backside rebound, and Georgia Tech on the run. Into the corner for Coleman. That's a 3 ball. That's good for Debo Coleman. And a timeout for Josh Pastner. Coleman's got 7 in the game. And we'll step aside too. 2:13 to play at Littlejohn. Clemson trying to get their 9th ACC win.
Gatorade Fit.
Solomon poured in 41. There's John Babel trying to get up off the ground. Solomon poured in 41. And Clemson lost to Georgia Tech 111 to 108. Solomon would finish as the number 15 scorer in Clemson history. That's where he is tonight, I should say. Terrific basketball player.
Terrific basketball player, Wes, and he was one of those guys, he could explode anytime.
Yep. And when you think of the Clemson-Georgia Tech series, 21 years ago tonight, Will Solomon poured in 41. And Paul Hewitt's first team ever to play at Littlejohn Coliseum. Jackets ended up winning. Alvin Jones had 26, by the way. Jackets hit a school record 17 threes, and there's Tyson adding to Clemson's total. Hunter Tyson's got 11 tonight, Dan.
Well, Wes, and he hit the three, and he's made a couple of those mid-range jump shots.
Beg your pardon, he's got 12 now. And 8 rebounds officially. Jump shot by Kelly bounds away into the hands of Ian Scheffler. Well, Brad Brownell's team is getting ready to win their 15th straight game at home. Well, Wes, they are going to go to 9-1 in the ACC.
Wes, it's been a heck of a year for Brad Brownell's guys, but if you look at the net rankings, they're, what, 54 today? And so that's an indication that there's not an awful lot of respect out there for the Clemson Tigers.
Don't forget, tomorrow night, Nothing But Net. Caps are 2 nights from now, I should say. Thursday night, 10 o'clock. Kelsey Riggs, host with highlights, analysis, a breakdown of all the ball games, including a look ahead to the quadruple header on Sunday on ACC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app.
And that's why, Wes, it's so important for the Tigers to hold serve in these quad 3 and quad 4 games, and then take advantage of opportunities when they have them in their quad 1 opportunities.
Hill and Hunter had it blocked by Smith, and then Tyson stole the outlet pass. Here's Hunter, timeout. And now Brad Brownell, all he's going to do is get Devin Foster, Jack, and Daniel Nassif, and Matt Kelly into the ball game to finish out here. These guys have not played in the last 8 games. And they will check in. I thought Matt Kelly was checking in. Is he in the ball game? No, he's not. Matt Kelly's not in. So it's Jack and Daniel Nassif and Devin Foster from Canton, Mass. into the lineup with Chauncey Wiggins. Inside, here is Daniel. Skip out for Wiggins, 3. Sure. Wow. That is a season high 12 now for Wiggins.
And Justin Porterfield is saying there should be 28.5 seconds on the clock.
72-51.
Why not, huh?
Why not? Clemson is headed to Florida State on Saturday, where they have lost their last 7 times at the Tucker Center. Sturdivant, the miss. Here is Coleman. And Franklin will bounce it for more. The Tigers are going to be 17-4, Dan, 9-1 in the ACC. And Georgia Tech is going to take a 6th straight loss and 8 of their last 9. And they get Duke on Saturday at home in Atlanta. Best 10-game start in ACC history for the Clemson Tigers. 8-2 and 86-87 have been the other mark.
And this is a charter member of the Atlantic Coast Conference West. So really an impressive season for the Clemson Tigers.